Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special edition of episode 3 for the Ramble on the Mountain video podcast. As you can see, things are a little bit different. Not only are we in different settings, we're not using Skype, so you can actually see all of us on one screen. We have two very special guests with us. We have Mr. Devin Burke and Mr. Ryan Mackey. We'll get into them a little bit more about who they are, where they come from, how we know them as we go along. This is going to be very similar to our last episode that just came out this past Saturday. We're going to go through a couple of different segments. This might be a little shorter than our usual ones, but that's okay. So without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Yeah, so why don't we go ahead and start with that. So all that being said, we're going to get into introducing our two special guests that we have today. Mackey had the idea just now, and we're going to do that. Similar to our first episode where the four of us introduce each other, we're going to have the two of them introduce themselves.
Those guys.
So, Burke?
You were second.
Am I introducing
You're
Ryan,
going
or-
to introduce who Mackey
Mackey.
is, who he is, what where he comes from, anything you can to offer about
As
him.
nice as possible.
Awesome. Okay. So, well, I'll just give a little backstory first of the first time that we really started hanging out. So, Ryan and I were probably the last two of the friend group to really get acquainted, and I think him and I really bonded very quickly. So, just kind of a quick overview of my personal feelings of my friend Ryan here. Wears phenomenal clothing. I mean, look at the cardigan sweater today. I mean, you guys have no idea how impressed I am that he can pull the cardigan sweater off. But never met a guy more in my life that's just amazing at everything that he does. He literally
Wii bowling, terrible at it.
Okay, other than Wii bowling.
Except real life bowling.
Real
yeah.
bowling, we're
Yeah.
really good at.
The only guy that I know, that's ever bowled, 200-300 games. So
Can't get above $150 in the week.
but yeah, so just a genuinely great guy. Loves outdoor, anything involved in the outdoors. Loves, fishing, hunting, all that good stuff. He's a pain in my, but he's truly a really good friend, and I know that we all can attest to that. Probably one of the greatest guys that we know all around. So
Cheers to that.
cheers to that one.
Yeah.
I'll crack one for him.
I'll wig open that body armor today.
All right, is that all you got?
I think that'll start him off at least.
That'll
We'll
do.
get a little more when we get in.
All right, Mackey, go ahead and give us Burke.
Devin Burke. Devin Michael Burke. There you go.
All right.
No, like Devin said, yeah. 6 foot, about $160, likes long walks on the beach. All the same quality traits of a golden retriever: loyal, courageous, likes frisbee.
Absolutely.
No, like Devin said, we've known each other for a long time, but just as friends, only started hanging out a few years ago, maybe 4 or 5 ago, and from that, just really became good friends. Great guy. He knows a lot of, honestly, just personal stuff about me. I know personal stuff about him. We've been there for each other, and yeah, they're laughing now because I know they're making jokes about it. But yeah, just a good guy, just a great guy to have around. Became a great friend. Very thankful for that. And we can do everything together. We go golf, fish, just whatever crazy adventure. He's up for it, and a friend like that is a good friend to have. So I'm very thankful.
I agree.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
Devin Burke. Yeah. Good guy.
I wrote that down like an hour ago.
Been playing it for 3 weeks.
And memorized it in an hour too, so that's even better.
So just a quick note before we get started into the show. I want to, compliments to Ben Brown because the intro to this podcast is literally the greatest intro that I have ever seen.
Oh yeah.
I've watched it about 1,000 times and it never gets old every time. So kudos to you.
Thank
you.
That's
Great.
where all of our views are coming from.
Yeah,
you just keep
I don't
clicking
care.
the YouTube link.
I don't care what anybody thinks. The only reason this podcast is great is because of Ben's intro. So sorry, Minnick and Boog and Dill.
I'm trash.
I guess this episode's over. Well, we've seen the intro. We've done the introductions. Goodbye, everybody.
Put the intro on repeat
Thanks
for the
for
next
doing
hour.
And I want to throw in a couple things about these guys as well.
Speaking of throwing something, hey Mackey, you ready?
Oh!
Good try. Next time.
Starting with Mackey chipping off something that Burke said. He's great at everything. Honestly,
Absolutely.
the phrase "jack of all trades, master of none." He's like borderline master of all trades, jack at none. So he's
Jacket.
Jack
Yeah.
it off.
Never tried.
jack it off.
Anyway,
Anyways,
speaking of trades I've mastered,
yeah.
Oh man.
But yeah, so and I mean that sincerely. And I think the rest of us would say the same.
Absolutely.
Devin, and I've told him this many times. If you absolutely know you need someone right there this second, and they'll be there as fast as they can. I know all my friends would do that for me, but Devin has had the most opportunities, I guess, to showcase it. Candace, he saved her in the middle of a winter storm when we were at WVU. She still talks about that all the
I
time.
think we pretty much both almost died that night. It was a bonding experience
Great
between the two of
bonding
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we almost died.
Yeah. So that's just my little extras. Minnick, I don't know if you want to add anything or.
I think the one thing I would add for those that don't know, they obviously introduced each other, but we've all been friends for about the same amount of time that we talked about in the first episode. We played Little League Baseball together on different teams, though, so we didn't know each other quite the same, but we were still around each other.
I just want to say real quick before you keep going, I got to see the mullet before all these guys did because Boog was on my Little League Baseball team.
Yeah.
So
He had the most luscious locks. of
So
any guy
back
I've
to
ever
Little
seen in
League
my
just
life.
real quick. Burke was the guy. Anytime he went to bat, I was stealing his snacks. He had nachos
I
or
did.
Bazooka Joe,
This is a true statement.
and all of that was gone by the time he came back to bat. So thank you, Devin Burke.
Attaboy. That's why I'm here for, man. That's what I'm
But the other thing that's, I think, worth mentioning is that Mackey and Devin were Ben and I's roommates. So we talked about how we lived together in Morgantown, Ben and I did, but Mackey and Devin were our two roommates. So just to throw that in there, just to give you an idea of how long this group has kind of been together. Like we said, Ben and I probably, 15 years now? Bug, 10-ish years, but these guys are around 15 as well. So we've known each other for quite some time at this point.
And I guess I didn't really mention it when I was doing the general introduction for the show. The reason that we're here right now in this beautiful rental home is we have come up this weekend to do some skiing.
someone's house.
Yeah, we actually broke into someone's house. But now we came up here to do some skiing and some snow tubing. Throughout the weekend, we've done this trip. This is our third time, we were saying? Second.
Third time we've
Second.
come up. Second time we've rented a place.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So just a little bit more context there. And on top of what Minnick was saying, just a lot of history amongst our group. And I think it's going to lead to a really entertaining episode. So get ready. Yeah. And with that, Minnick, why don't you go ahead and lead us into our first ad read brought to us by...
I would love to do that, and I would love to bring you up to speed on Nuskin products. Thank you. This will show how great my teeth are. Distributor Shelly Minnick. Now, hold on. Perfect. Great. The signature product, the AP Whitening Toothpaste. Best on the market. Did you guys know that? You guys know it's the best on the market?
Heard that.
I know you have, but I'm asking
I've heard
you
it's
guys.
almost as good as Ghost.
It's not quite as good as Ghost, but it is the best whitening toothpaste on the market. It is fantastic. So, at $20 a piece, $20 a tube. Do you know how much the whitening strips cost? It's crazy. $60 plus for some of them. It's absurd. What you're going to need to do is find Shelly Minnick on Facebook and get yourself one of those $20 toothpaste tubes with no harsh chemicals, safe for all ages, and it even helps with sensitivity.
Yeah, the whitening strips, they're like pretty bad for your teeth too. They like take the enamel off.
Right, and exactly. This is going to help your issues instead of create more. That sounds like something that's going to save you money at the dentist, if I'm not mistaken. But also, what you're going to need to do is contact Shelly for the Valentine's Day offer. But also for the other products as well. We'll get to the Valentine's offer in a minute. I got a little ahead of myself. I'm sorry. But check out some of the other products as well that she has, including the Mud Mask, the Lumi Spa Facial, and the Body Butter. Because you guys know Valentine's Day is coming up. We talked about this. I'm not going to get flowers that are just going to die. That's just money it's ridiculous. Yeah. So go get yourself some body butter for your girl because she's going to like that better than she is some flowers that are going to die. We all know how that goes. Everyone loves the body butter, but we love the toothpaste too. But if you contact Shelly Minnick before February 13th, if you contact Shelly Minnick before February 13th, get 15% off a one-time order.
I love you, Shelly
15% off.
That's an incredible offer.
15% off. So talk to Shelly Minnick, Nuskin Products Distributor. Let's get it.
Fun fact, at one point in our lives, Shelly Minnick has fed everyone that is doing this.
Yes.
Phenomenal.
So, she's a pretty cool lady, so if you buy stuff from her, you're not going to get a raw deal here.
And I will say, I know, was it you that were saying that you've used the strips before, or that you heard at least they were bad for your teeth?
Oh, yeah, the whitening strips,
I will say, I used them for a while.
Make them really white, but at what cost?
Yeah, and it did work, but I will say this just might be my personality, but I feel like it would be a lot easier to use toothpaste than the whole process. I remember it was like a whole thing
brushing's already a part of your daily routine, or if it's not, it should be.
Absolutely.
So,
and this is the same way.
Just enhance that. Don't add time to your routine.
You don't have to do anything different. You buy the toothpaste once in the morning, once in the evening, whenever you brush your teeth.
Buy the toothpaste. Shelly Minnick on Facebook, look her up. Buy the toothpaste.
Ring-a-ding-ding. All right, moving on. So last week we came up finally with a name for the General Ketchup segment. It is now going to be called Colonel Mustard. So when we have Colonel Mustard, everyone's going to go around the table. Today we're going to try to do it in just one or two sentences, give the audience a little bit of information about what all you've been up to, if you want to promote anything, just in general how things have been for you. So Minnick, why don't you start us off?
Yeah. This week's actually been a little bit more low-key, a little bit more boring, I would say. Not really killing any music, but getting into my classes, doing a little research, trying to get that degree, all that fun stuff. Nothing really crazy, though. Sounds good. Pretty solid week. But I will say real quick, I want to give you my Super Bowl prediction because this is going to come out the day before the Super Bowl. So let's say Rams 24, Rams 28, Patriots 24. Rams over pass.
All right. That's a bold prediction, Cotton. Let's see how it pays out.
Very close. 7 out of 10 effort.
Thank you. I've had 7 out of 10 beers. So pretty much anything I say from now on, let's just be lucky that I got something out.
All right, Burke, you next.
Just been a typical week. I'm, flew through the work week. Thank goodness we're here. Going to go enjoy a Burrs weekend. Lovely ladies coming up Saturday to go snow tubing. Mm-hmm. I'm just glad to see my boys. It's good to see Minnick. It's been doing his schooling and stuff up in Morgantown, and Ben that's down there and around Baltimore, enjoying his time and doing some big things. I see Mackey every day, so it's just like, whatever.
Yeah, we work together.
Yeah, it is what it is. Bug is always a man to see, a blessing, the bearded wonder. So it's always great to see you guys. No, Super Bowl prediction, I don't really give a shit. No offense. I think the Saints are still going to win it, even though they're not in it anymore.
They're going to win their appeal against you.
I don't care what anybody says. Drew Brees, he's on his way out, so there we go. That's where I'm going. They're gonna win the appeal.
Let's go Saints.
All right.
Go Saints.
All right. So I guess if it's my turn, very similar to Minnick. Nothing crazy this week. And similar to Burke, whereas the work week flew by, I got to take Thursday and Friday off to be here with my best pals. So pretty much just been looking forward to that. Nothing crazy really else going on. So Minnick, not Minnick. Bug.
All right, so today actually just finished my last class of my intersession.
Cheers to that.
At Frostburg State. So cheers. That's just another step to graduate.
Cheers counter at 2.
Actually, in the morning, which is a couple hours away, I start my last semester of my internship. So I'm in my last semester of undergrad at Frostburg State. So I'm really close to graduating. Super Bowl prediction: Rams are wearing the throwback unis. Rams by at least one. By at least one. So in the books, Rams by at least one. Let's go Rams. Mac?
Well, I'm a Dolphins fan.
Sorry.
So, yeah, I never expect my team to even really make it to the playoffs.
Still the only other team.
Yeah, we cleaned that too. Yeah, my week, short week, got through it. Wasn't that big of a deal. It was a busy week, so it made it go by a little faster. Just hang out with my dog, and that's pretty much it. So now I'm here, ready to enjoy it.
Overall, pretty good.
Real quick, do we want to shout out our friends? I know we were talking about that. Our friends over at our friends. Stuff Among Other Things.
Stuff Among Other Things.
Yeah. Gotta shout out our buddies at
yeah,
Stuff Among
absolutely.
Other Things.
Stuff Among Other Things. It's going to be a podcast coming out within the next week or two. It's a former coworker of mine. He was actually a manager of mine at one point. His name's Nick Miller. Awesome guy. Hilarious to listen to. So I'm sure they're going to put out great things on their podcast. Be on the lookout for them. Anybody else want to add anything to that? I know you guys don't know him personally.
No, I don't know him personally, but I saw the Instagram.
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
he was very passionate about doing it based on
so we
helping
actually
us.
gave him the final push to actually jump into the podcast game. So
I think that's
Nick,
awesome.
I'm really happy that you're making that step.
Let's go, man.
And I'm glad that we could be, a part of that driving force that's putting you there. So Stuff Among Other Things, look them up. They're going to be on Facebook. They're going to be posted everywhere. So just keep an eye out for those guys.
Cheers to that.
Cheers. 3. No, seriously, best of luck. It wasn't necessarily hard for us to get started, but it is daunting. It's a daunting task. It's hard to put yourself out there in front of everybody, especially coordinating. I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I genuinely hope you guys enjoy recording as much as we do. We have a blast doing this. So
Nick, go get it, man. And whoever else you'll
Bruce
have on there.
Bruce,
you
is
too.
his co-star.
Bruce and
Bruce.
Bruce and Nick, go get it, guys. We're super happy. I don't know you guys, but
Zoom in on that camera.
go get it.
Nailed it.
Go
Nailed
get
it.
it.
All right, so moving on. Last week we had fan submitted questions that we started off in our first sort of organized segment. This week, because we have 2 special guests once again, they are in charge of giving us a discussion/debate topic or question. Go.
Nose goes.
Oh,
That's
man.
fair, yeah.
That's we beat you on that one, partner.
All right, so giving you like a question, question.
Yeah.
Just something that you think would be interesting for the 5 of us to discuss.
Oh
Do you
wow.
need like a for instance of what we did last week? Would
Yeah,
that
that'd be
help?
great because I'm a guy that just does not follow politics
Let's
Just to kind of-
recap.
whatsoever. I barely watch the news.
It could be
so-
anything. It literally can be anything.
So our question last week from someone submitted was, if you could pick any superpower
Yes.
and you had to keep it a secret, what would it be and why?
That's usually my go-to anyway.
Oh, well, try again. Mike Minnick already beat you to that one.
Yeah.
Shout out Mike Minnick. I love me some Mike Minnick.
Shout out.
Shout out Counter One.
Ding. All right, there
Push
we
the
go.
bell when thank you.
All right. A TV series or movie that impacted you in a positive way? Because I'm a fan of the arts. I really always have been. I love watching movies and TV shows. I love actors, what they do, and how sometimes they can just throw themselves into a character that just, man, you're like, wow, they seem to be going through the same thing I am.
Okay.
And
question.
sometimes that just really helps you get through what you're going through. A TV show that I have always loved. I'm a How I Met Your Mother fan. Always have been. Always will be. And it's just because it's based around a couple of people. It just, I don't know, really just started all in New York. And I started the series on Netflix when I was in college. So I was on my own. You know, they started on their own, and I got to watch them progress also as well as when I progressed. So it was just kind of neat to, like, see how they got through things. And, like, at the end of the series, spoiler alert, the end of the series, in my personal opinion, sucked.
Yeah.
But it was just an awesome thing to see, and that gave me hope when I was doing it. That, sometimes they're bad. Just laugh it off. It's not going to last long, and you'll enjoy the ride anyway.
Laugh it off with people you care about.
Yeah. So I guess we're just going to move straight down the line here.
Yeah, that works.
Unfortunately, I got the same answer as Mac. How I Met Your Mother had a pretty big impact on me. Maybe not from the stance of being on your own, because like I said before, I'm a college student. I still do live with my parents. But from the romantic aspect of Ted Mosby, the main character,
Ted.
It takes him a while to find where he's actually at, and I can relate some of my like romantic interests actually to his. So I've really like connected with him even more so recently than I ever have. So I've just kind of been like, if this guy, this big professional guy that has this awesome career is struggling to find where he's going in life, it's okay for me to be 23 and having the same issues. So I've really related to that, and that's about all I have. So I think Ben is going to move on to the next step.
Yes. So you said it could be a movie too, right?
A movie?
Yeah.
Movie. Okay. So one of my all-time favorite movies, if not my favorite movie, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but it's called Big Fish. Yeah. If anybody who hasn't seen it, general synopsis is
Never seen it.
yeah. So opposite of these. Essentially, a young guy, his dad is on his deathbed, and they've sort of grown apart over the years. And he goes to meet his dad after his mom asks him to come see him. And his dad is known for telling stories. So every time he talks, the guy's like, Dad, I don't really want to hear it. I don't even know if you're telling the truth anymore. These are all just stories. He kind of gets over it. But as his dad is dying, he tells the stories back to his dad, sort of to him. So he's always been used to listening. So now he's telling them back. And while, it's just a great movie in general, but yeah, like when I'm done my life, sort of similar to what you guys have said, when I'm done, I want to have that just string of stories that I've told all the time to the people I care about, to my children, to random strangers on a train, or something like that. It's really inspiring to me. That's what I want. That is my end goal. No matter what success looks like in that future, if it's successful or not, I want to have stories I can tell people, and tell them about with the people I love. So,
well, that was
answer,
savvy.
good answer.
That was nice and savvy.
Thanks.
How are we going to top that?
Well, so I'm not going to do anything.
SpongeBob.
Anything like you guys just did.
I loved the Rugrats.
So I'm going to take a little different turn here. I'm gonna take some characters out of my favorite TV show and explain how I feel like they relate to life and how
Okay.
they display to it. So can you tell me what TV show I'm gonna say right now?
Is it Parks and Rec?
Parks and Rec. Great answer.
Parks and Rec is with How I Met Your Mother. Parks and Rec is definitely up there for me too.
Parks and
Yeah.
Rec is. I'm sorry.
watched it.
Sorry to all the Office fans out there. But Parks and Rec is the greatest TV show.
I think you're a liar.
Like a war.
That's fine, and I'm.
Please stop.
I will carry. I will carry
We
that
just
burden.
lost a couple subscribers.
I will carry that burden on my back. But so yeah, I mean, just looking at a couple friendships, in the show itself, you have. Well, let's start with Ben and Leslie. Ben and Leslie's marriage, shows kind of the values and the excitement that you look forward to.
Not me.
In a marriage. Ben and Candace as well. They're pretty awesome marriage they
Crabgrass.
got there. Crabgrass. Kansas, as we also call her.
You have a mic here too you can talk into.
I'm sorry. So,
That's what it's here.
but no. So you got Ben and Leslie, great example. Then you have Leslie and Ron. Leslie and Ron show the good friendship and the bonding. The two different people that are completely polar opposites, but they can find common ground and find the goodness in each other. And I feel like in the world that we live in today, it's kind of tough. Just because we have different values and different views, doesn't mean that we can't be human beings. I guess is really the way I'm looking at it. We can't be civil. We can't be loving and caring to our fellow man. So they're a great example there. Then you have April and Andy that are just crazy and love life and love to do what they like to do and enjoy everything they come to and just make the best out of every situation no matter what they have. So I find that Parks and Rec, while it's a goofy show and whatnot, and everybody Office is so much better and Steve Carell is awesome. I just feel that there's a lot of good life lessons in Parks and Recreation.
Definitely.
And a lot of cool a lot of cool things that'll relate to real life and things that we don't really realize we see in everyday life. So.
I think that's where Parks and Rec wins out.
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
Parks and Rec is a much better story than The Office.
Yeah, Tom Haverford.
But-
It's not
Is
just
a
Pam
man.
and Jim.
Tom Haverford is Ryan Mackey.
And
the way that he
for the
dresses,
record-
he can do it.
Pam sucks. That's all I have
That's
to
my
say.
mom.
Listen, Parks and Rec.
We just lost
Pam
all of
Brown.
We just lost all of our
Pam Brown is.
subscribers.
We need a selfie right now for Pam Brown.
Pam from The Office.
Shout out to Pam Brown. She
Ding!
has also
Sucks.
fed everyone at this table.
I
Yes.
would like to just take a quick ad lib, kind
I
of
think all of our moms
quick little yeah, it's true. Shout out to Don Burke, Mike Burke,
Ding!
buying us Big Daddy pizzas when we were younger, and we loved them,
Yeah.
So, but a quick side
21
note,
slices.
Definitely the first time
Yeah.
we've ever bonded.
anybody that is trying to watch Parks and Recreation, skip ahead until Brandanowitz is gone because Brandanowitz is the worst.
Season 1 and 2, just
Brandanowitz is terrible.
say that.
All right, sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine. I'm actually going to go the movie route.
Ooh, okay.
So I'm not a big TV or movie guy. You guys know that I'm very much the sports guy. Like
Hockey game guy.
Can I take a guess?
go for it.
43. 42?
42.
25.
No. Actually, I thought about that one. Close. I'm gonna go with Friday Night Lights.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Friday Night Lights for the reason that you may not expect, and it has nothing to do with sports though. It's about the whole life lesson of being a team and building those relationships over it. Because I think we bonded through sports when we were younger, but that's not the reason we're still friends. Because if we were bonding through sports, we would all hate each other because we all suck at sports now. So. Trust me, it's not the same, but it's that, kind of forge, everybody has a different role in your life and everyone's there for a different reason. And you're going to know these people for these different reasons. You're going to have your friends, you're going to have your coworkers, and it goes all the way down the line. But the biggest lesson that I took out of Friday Night Lights was it's okay to fail. Because at the end, that's actually the last movie that I cried at. And I mean, that's been 15 years ago.
I still cry at movies.
I'm not a big crier at movies.
I just cry.
I cry, yeah.
I'm not a big crier with
cry
movies, but
every
that's
time.
definitely the last one that I cried at because you don't see the end coming. They're supposed to win, and you're supposed to feel good, but that's not how that movie ended. So I think it taught me that it was okay to fail, and it's okay that you're going to have these roles and you're going to have these people, and they're going to stay in your life. But at the end of the day, when you fail and these things don't go your way, that's fine. It's okay. You can move on past that because there's more to life than one situation. So, I mean, that's what I always took from that movie. It's not my favorite movie, but it definitely taught me the most, I would say.
So Minnick wins.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, to kind
Good
of
answers all around.
to kind of touch on Minnick's comments there, and especially as our friendship as a whole. I know Boog and Mac didn't get to experience
Some things that we, us three have been through together in high school sports. You've been part of a team that, failure is expected sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've been in a situation where,
bowling
you were
team.
never
Ding!
really,
Shout out bowling team.
Ding!
you're never really expected to succeed. And I feel like that, three of us have really gotten a good bond and grown closer together. Ben and I, especially, being just goofy as in some scenarios.
Just not caring.
But at the
Learning the
same-
lesson mid-season.
Absolutely. But at the,
Hiding behind people.
Yeah.
at the same time, I feel like it's really, those are some of the best memories of my life. And, sometimes we look back and say, we weren't the best and we didn't have some of the best things, but, we still did.
Let me just say this for everybody out there. Winning is not everything.
No, absolutely.
I mean, I understand that you play to win the game and you want to win. No, absolutely. But the thing is like, yeah, you play to win the game, but at the end of the day, I couldn't tell you too much that happened in my high school sports. I mean, I could tell you the couple, big stories, but I don't think of high school sports as, oh, well, we only won 3 basketball games in 2 years. I remember the fact that I got to spend time with these guys and you guys in other sports too. It's not just basketball, but I'll never forget those friendships. I don't care about wins and losses at the end of the day.
I mean, I can remember some things. Bowling team were actually in the same town. Mackey bowled a 300. I was like 14, and I made another kid cry because he was asked to Mackey about him bowling a 300. So, shout out that kid. Ding! I'm not saying any names. So,
All right.
One thing, I always got from winning.
Because he always won. He literally, he was the best bowler we had. So
Master of all trades.
I have like one major like championship trophy from like when I played Little League baseball. That's it. That's not what I'm going after.
That's definitely the last
But
one.
I think,
Little League baseball.
yeah. Anyway, aside from what they say, the thing you get from winning is that work hard attitude, and it may not just be that you win at everything you do, but you just put everything you got into what you want to do. And they sit here and they talk about me and they hype me up for being good at what I do. I don't know. I just find like certain things interesting. So like, I don't know. I'm trying to get in like woodworking right now, so I want to like put my all into it. Yeah.
Hey, Bob Smiley's got some competition.
Bob
Better watch
Smiley.
out.
Shout out Bob Smiley.
Yeah,
Ding.
shout out Bob Smiley. He's not here today, so I'm taking his spot
I was
and more
gonna
wisdom
say,
one.
Let's clear that up in case you're wondering. Casey was not able to make it. He had
a little situation.
We
he had
still
a
love
home emergency at home.
He had
Yeah,
some
he had a
spillage.
home emergency.
Absolutely nothing.
So he wasn't able to make it, but that's okay.
Not harmful.
We'll see him next
We
week.
still love him. We'll pop a picture up or something. So.
But anyway, so like the attitude, just like put everything you have into something, and that's how you're going to win most of the time. It really is. But then on the flip side of that, there is humility and there is learning how to take a loss when it happens, because you're not going to win every time. And not winning every time is how you grow. Trust me, you learn more from losing than you do from winning.
Let me just tell for everybody that's in high school out there right now listening, if there are, high school sports are not going to be your life. No. Don't get that invested in them because they don't matter all that much.
Looking back to high school, everything that I worried about when I was 17, 18 years old,
Doesn't matter.
completely insignificant at this point. So
I believe that. Well, I believe they give you a lot to like take with you after you go. But
Lessons for sure.
But like
You learn lessons.
losing that game,
that's not going to play a role in your life.
Trust me, you're going to have so many great moments in your life after high school.
So if we have an extra like 2 seconds here, I'd like to make a quick little insert.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Mackey today, I don't remember if we were driving up or what we were doing today. But Mackey made the comment today that he would like to go back to our former alma mater, Frankfort High School, and just make a speech. Yeah, so and he made a really good point, and I really just wanted to kind of touch base on this real quick because it would be great. So he said that he would like to go back and just tell the people that were in our shoes, 5-10 years ago, not necessarily 10. God, I feel old. I know, right? And say and just make them realize that the stuff that you're going through now and the stuff that happens in high school. Yeah, they say it's the best years of your lives, but it's really not. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens after you graduate high school, and I've been very thankful for the time I've got to spend with these guys after high school, and got grown some really good bonds and relationships as we've grown. The stuff that you go through there, the boyfriend that you break up with, or the girlfriend that you break up with, or the sports championship you don't win, it doesn't matter in the end. It really doesn't. And you realize as you get older, the better things in life come as you grow with yourself and grow with your friends. So Mackey, I really, if you want to touch base on that real quick, I thought it was really a good topic after you finish your Miller Lite there.
Let the motivational speaker finish his beer.
Hold my beer real quick while I finish the speech.
all the boyfriends I had in high school, they're completely insignificant at this point. So
so let me speak on what that was. I'd like to go back to my high school and literally just talk to the seniors from the perspective of a guy who's still kind of young enough to seem cool. I'm not quite like a teacher yet to seem like
You're so cool.
I mean young enough. I'm talking about like at the very like end of my leash on that one, but that's still somewhat relatable. And just tell them like keep your options open. They say high school is the best years of your life. It's not. High school was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, a lot of people had mixed experiences about high school. I had a blast. I really did. I had some good friends help me get through it, so that was a positive. But when you go to college, even if you go to Potomac State, where we went, there is such a diversity there that it just opens up a whole new world. And I went to Potomac State, then I went to West Virginia University, and I'm thankful I did that because it was just like opening up a little bit, and then going to West Virginia University was just mind-blowing to me in a sense. And you just experience so much. You get to learn what's actually out there, and you think you know so much now, but you just don't. And when you get out there and you're able to see other people's opinions, other cultures, that was my favorite thing. Seeing people from literally all over the world, their opinions, their cultures, their beliefs. And just seeing all that and learning that what you think now maybe you want to go into as a job, you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. I went in as an engineer. I realized I hated it. I don't know why I did it in the first, but I can probably take a guess, but I won't get into that. But then I found Parks and Recreation. Yeah, there is the show. We just talked about it. And it kind of is something like that, what I want to do. But you just find out what you want to love because you see all this different stuff, and you're like, wow, I actually kind of like that. And you know what? If college isn't your deal, this is a big thing I like to talk about. Military. People think the military is just going in and carrying a rifle. No, you can go to the Air Force. You can learn computers. You can do
a trade.
And go into a trade. There is a guy that is 21, 22, something like that. A couple of them, really. That are probably making $60,000 a year right now. And if you were, I mean, they're young. They're going out traveling to do this. You get to see a little bit. You get to do some hard work, but you get paid at the end of the day. You get to have some fun toys while you're young. You know, go do that. Whatever. If college isn't your thing, go do a trade. And a tradesman is really a lost art. You know, we talk about Casey on here, Dill, that's getting into woodworking. Me, that's kind of getting into it. Like, there isn't a lot of people around to like teach you that sort of thing. And if they are, they're getting up there in age. So they might not be able to like teach you too much of it really hands on. So, I mean, yeah, younger generation getting into that kind of stuff, there's definitely a huge opportunity. And honestly, you're looking at finding a job a lot easier.
Make yourself marketable.
Make yourself marketable. If you go to college for 4 years, you know, find a job that you're going to make money at and that you don't mind doing. But, man, going into Parks and Recreation, it was tough for me. I still don't have a job in my field, and here I am 24 years old. But it's just tough. So, yeah, definitely keep your options open. And if you like working with your hands, hey, go do it.
Sure.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cheers. Man, that's a good one.
All right.
Good discussion, boys.
Yeah.
Good
All
question.
based on your question.
I think it's time.
I know.
I'll
So
bet
anyway,
you-
favorite show,
This
How
is
I
our
Met
guest.
Your Mother.
Hey,
Taking over.
Hey,
And another
he
catch.
caught the Swedish
Look at
fish.
that. Maybe sports are important.
I did learn that in college, though. So if you go to college, you learn cool shit like that.
So it's called Who's Most Likely To. I have about 12 or so questions that I'm going to read them off, and everyone's going to give their gut reaction.
Medic.
If there's too much discussion, we'll talk it out. If
Yeah.
not, bang, that's the answer.
We're
Some
going
of them
this
may
way
be very
over.
obvious.
We're going from Mac over. I think that's a
Yeah.
fair way.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
So
So,
let's just go over and then back.
all right.
That works.
I like it.
Okay.
Go for it.
Yep.
First question. Who is most likely to go to Justin Bieber concert?
He f***ing me.
Who do you think?
Honestly, you. Yeah, definitely you.
I agree.
I'm also going to say Ben.
I would say myself, yeah.
See, I would either say you, Ben, or Boog.
Well,
because I know you do like a good production as far as your show.
Listen, if it's Justin Bieber with Skrillex, then I'll probably get with you. But if it's just Justin Bieber song,
I'll give the kid. He's like our age.
He's younger than us.
Yeah.
just
He's older than me.
Question two.
He makes.
right.
He does make some good music.
We're going Ben.
Ben's the winner.
All right. Who's most likely to give all their money to charity? Notice all their money.
All?
All.
Okay.
What charity wants 58 cents?
Oh man.
Honestly, though. I feel like Boog. I feel like Boog's kind of an all-out guy. I feel like given the right situation. I mean, obviously that's tough for anyone to do, but I'm gonna go with Boog.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, not to toot my own horn here or anything, but you know, I'm gonna say myself, and I tell you why I say myself.
Well, I would have said myself too,
Well-
because I.
You
Quick discussion.
do you want to
All right, come on,
No,
quick,
no.
for me?
quick.
So, and I tell you why I say myself. I'm very, and I think a lot of people here would attest to this. Anytime that anybody needs anything, we go out anywhere and does whatever. I'm always the first person to offer up, paying up. And
Yeah.
Bought this beer.
I get that.
and, and it's not like I said. I'm not trying to be self promoting here, but I think that I've always just felt that if I have something, it'd be nice to give to somebody else. So I'm gonna go with myself on this one.
Devin.
Thanks, Ben.
Boog.
Thanks for the explanation too. I appreciate it.
I was going to say Minnick. Minnick has a big heart. Minnick doesn't know it. He just puts other people ahead of himself more than he actually knows.
I agree.
he cares about his own things, but he'd rather somebody go with than himself go without. So I'm saying Minnick.
Not to toot my own horn. Garrett.
Okay,
No.
so we had
Couple different answers there.
2 for Burke, though, was the
And 2
overall.
for myself.
And 2 for Boog.
Garrett and I winners.
All right.
One for
But I didn't vote for myself, so I think I'll beat Burke.
All right.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
True.
Gets minus
All right.
-1 points.
I don't like that one. Who's most likely to have a weird phobia?
Ben.
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 Ben, yes.
Yeah,
Ben.
Pretty unanimous. I have a few.
Ben
say I-
will vote for himself.
I
Hey
have a
Ben,
few.
I got a toad out back.
Frogs and mice are no-goes. Who's most likely to kill someone on accident?
Dill.
Accidentally?
Dill.
Book.
Absolutely Dill.
No, Dill. That's what I meant, Dill.
Out of everyone here, I mean,
Here,
we want to
Our
include
friend
Dell?
group.
Our friend group?
Yeah.
Minnick with his car, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Almost.
Good answer.
seriously.
I'm
Good
going to
answer.
throw in
Almost.
Mackey because we've had a few situations
Burke
where
almost did it once.
Mackey has hurt me.
Okay, whoa.
Hold on. That's just my vote.
All right, so, yeah, actually, I retract my statement.
Tell them the story.
So,
Quick.
yeah, it's going to be a quick story. So, what Ben was talking about is just a few small things. I accidentally hit him with a few cherries off of a cherry tree, no big deal.
Hey, Ben.
We've hurt each other a lot, though.
Yeah, we were kids. So I want to go with Burke because one time while we were in Potomac State, he, Ben, and I used to just drive around between classes, go get sheets, do whatever.
Grammar.
And yeah, learn something. The educational hour. So just between classes, we go drive around, get food, whatever. And so we were down in like a little community area where it's like 25 miles an hour the whole time. We're in Burke's car going easily double that. And we come on this intersection, and I'm sitting in the front seat, Ben's in the back, and we're just not slowing down to the intersection. We're talking, and I'm waiting for him to slow down, but he's not slowing down. We ended up hitting this intersection, which sort of, like the intersection itself, the square, it was a four-way stop, was kind of raised. So when you went through it, you kind of hit a bump going into it, and then hit a bump going out. Burke flew the intersection.
We went airborne.
Like easily all four tires of a Pontiac Sunfire were off of the ground.
That's important.
So this, I'm saving my answer for the next question. So I think you'll agree with me on the next one. Well,
I haven't answered yet.
Yeah.
I just
So
wanna-
anyway, to recap, Burke.
I just want to apologize real quick to
Pam Brown and Shelley and Tammy Mackey because I almost killed their son. So.
So for that last question, anybody but myself because it says accidentally. So
All right, fair enough.
Great, we're staying in a
moving
cabin
on,
with this guy.
Can we get a cricket sound effect for that one? Please.
all right, next one. Who's most likely to die of something stupid?
me.
Book.
Burke.
I was waiting on that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I was saving that one for.
I agree.
Burke. That's fair.
I nominate myself as tribute.
All right.
Mackie, you didn't even answer that one.
You gonna give one?
Anybody?
What? I have free climbed way too many things to be safe.
Yeah, but we usually do that stuff together.
He's
So.
going on himself. Who's most likely to punch a wall?
Bug.
Boog.
Boog.
Who's
Yeah.
most likely to smash a Jack Daniels bottle over his forehead?
Oh my god.
I think it's Bug.
Boog has.
So I'm just gonna say
The fact that
myself
you haven't
because
punched a wall yet is honestly kind of surprising.
I mean I have. I just
okay.
okay.
All right. Who's most likely to meet a ghost? Minnick.
Ghost.
Minnick's already
I have
beat.
met Ghost.
He's already met Ghost. So we're
All
good.
I
right.
have.
So
I almost said
yeah,
Meaton.
Minnick, unanimous.
Yeah. There it is. I think that meant like another ghost, but
No,
there we
we're going
go.
with what we said.
I also believe in ghosts.
Who's most likely to be the first one to die in a zombie apocalypse?
Ben, he's very trusting of people, so
I
he's
agree.
gonna get a zombie that doesn't look like a zombie. And
There's
just-
going to be mutant
I'm just
frogs
a
and
punk
he's
ass
going to die.
bitch.
To
So.
be completely honest,
I think the two last surviving will be me and Mackie. I didn't.
Nice grammar.
Hey, well, guess what? In the zombie apocalypse, grammar doesn't matter. Okay,
Only Twinkies.
only Twinkies.
All right. Who is most likely to rule the world?
Mackie, for sure.
okay. So,
Mackie is really good at things. We
Yes.
already covered that, so Mackie would find his way to the top somehow.
I'm going to say Minnick on this one.
I agree with Ben. I think that Minnick has never lost an argument in his life, even when he's
Yeah.
wrong. So I think that Minnick is the winner here.
Fun fact, if I shot Minnick, I'd rule the world.
It's Mac.
Pretty good at shooting.
It's Mac.
I'll put Mackey and we'll just go to a tie.
All right.
Okay. Who's most
Let's
likely
do that
to
together.
become president of the United States of America?
My answer's Burke.
All right.
I actually helped build a wall not too long ago. Not that hard. I'm just saying that I don't know if I'd make a good president, but actually I think the wall fell down.
And the cardigan sweater makes you very presidential.
Yeah.
I'm saying Minnick again
Why?
because you're very personable. I think like you're very friendly
You love Swedish
to
fish.
to new people. You know how to deliver an agenda or a message or like you're very well spoken. You're good at debating.
I agree with Ben. The only thing I just feel like Minnick lacks is eye contact.
Yes.
It's
It's 100%
no
true.
offense, bud.
It's 100%
But I think that'd
true.
be the only thing that'd do your downfall.
I have like 70 cameras at each speech.
Look at this.
That way it catches one
I'll
of
tell you
them.
what, my poor editor. If I was president, he'd be like, "Can this dude look at one camera, please?" Can we teach this guy something?
Next
For
question.
God's sakes.
Next, who's most likely to laugh at a wrong moment?
Me?
Mackey.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mackey or Boog. I think it's pretty close.
Yeah,
actually.
I was
I'll
gonna
tell
say
you
that's
Yeah,
actually
I don't know.
pretty.
Dill's pretty bad
All
at
of
it too.
us.
Yeah, I'd say we're all pretty
We're all
susceptible
pretty
to
good.
it.
This is a bad question.
I've laughed at a funeral.
We are all pretty guilty of that one,
Yeah.
though.
I try to like keep things upbeat. Usually people are
Yeah,
sad at
I
a
agree.
funeral,
Yeah.
so I try to make people laugh. But I've inappropriately laughed at a funeral.
Yeah.
too.
Yes.
All right. Who's most likely to live in a zoo? And I think this is the last one. Mackey. Because he loves animals and he loves being outside. And
Why me, Bug?
Why
You want to elaborate on that?
So well, let's go down the rest.
yeah, we lost our order.
We just screw this over. Mackey, who you going first?
Maybe me because I'd like to be Tarzan of the zoo. Maybe Minnick because he's really airy.
I'll fit in with the grill is great.
So I think I'm hairier than Minnick.
Hey, shout out to Pantene if you want to sponsor us. We got 2 dudes that you could have in your next commercial.
Phenomenal advertising.
Body flow.
So Minnick, I just think Minnick would be well suited for a zoo.
But also the president of the United States of America.
Exactly.
I said Burke. I said Burke was the president.
That's right.
Yeah.
I lead a very interesting.
So I'm sticking with Mackey because he's an animal lover.
So I'm actually gonna go outside the box here. I'm gonna say my beautiful, lovely girlfriend Tiffany Bloom because she is the biggest animal lover I've ever met in my entire
She
life.
does.
I know
She
she
does
didn't
love
count,
zoos.
and I would love.
Small lady.
Yeah, she loves. She actually asked me to pop the question to her with a penguin at the zoo. So I think that Tiffany Bloom will be my answer on that one.
As in, she
Shout out.
wants to wear
Ding!
the penguin on her finger.
So-
or
Yeah,
like,
just kill it and wear it
Have
as
you
a
popped the
trophy.
question yet?
No, I have not. Just stay tuned. Next podcast.
you heard it here first, folks.
In a week. He's got a week. So
Actually, never mind. We're just gonna keep going. Minute, who you think?
No, let's stay on this topic. This is
Mackey.
fun. Okay.
All right.
Why?
Because you climb trees.
I do.
I'm sure he's.
So this is Chris.
Most
I can identify him too.
Chris ain't here.
A
They
little
don't
Chris don't
rusty,
count.
but
If Chris was here, it'd be Chris, but they don't know Chris yet.
Quercus
So-
alba, white oak.
I think
Boom.
Mackey lives in the zoo.
All right, so that's it for that segment. I hope you people enjoyed it. I know it's a little different. I thought it would be fun to do with all 5 personalities here, just because we know each other so well. So maybe we'll do it another time. And we didn't really mention this earlier. When we get into situations like this where we're all together or in the same area, we're gonna try to pull off stuff like this. So getting together, doing a live video as often as we can. We're all pretty far apart for the most part.
Ooh,
Well, I guess
me
I'm
in a
really the only
zoo
one.
because I can do a pigeon call and pigeons love it. at the
Pigeon
zoo.
call in the zoo.
People feed
Mackey.
'em.
You heard it here.
We are 3 for 4.
And I can catch stuff in my
3
mouth
for
like a
4
seal.
on the Swedish fish throat today.
Watch her just shove it right in your mouth.
All right, so we got 2 more segments, but before that, we're gonna get into our last ad read.
Look at the camera.
This I have to read the ad read.
Well, lay it up
This
this
guy right here.
This episode, as well with our first sponsor, is also brought to you by Blue Design. I apologize. This is going to be the same one you've heard in
Twice
both episodes already, but it's all I got, and I don't have
The
enough time
product
to
is
rewrite.
still high quality, so
So, Blue Design, creativity and passion. Blue Design is a small startup built around those 2 ideals: custom graphics, multimedia production, and more. If you have a need for a unique piece to better fit your brand, project, gift idea, etc., Blue Design is ready to take your graphic need from concept to creation.
Can I read this so it's not so monotone?
Sure.
Cool.
take
a little
over.
flair.
Mac, I love
What
it.
do we got
Ric
here?
Flair. Woo!
Give it a little drip.
Sell me.
Creativity and passion. Blue Design is a small startup built around those two ideals: custom graphics, multimedia production, and more. If you have a need for a unique piece to better fit your brand, project, gift idea, etc., Blue Design is ready to take your graphic need from concept to creation. The best part? You don't pay a cent. The creators at Blue Design have a passion to see a finer world and are ready and willing to work one-on-one with you to ensure your needs are met and exceeded. What are you waiting for? Reach out to Ben Brown by any of the following means: Facebook, facebook.com,
How do
Blue
you post
Designs;
videos to
Instagram, @Blue Design; email, Blue Design, and that is BBLUE, so it's BBlue, pronounced blue, design.
The French pronunciation, by
and
the way.
French are fancy, so you know it's high quality.
2 B's.
At hotmail.com. Blue Design, experience creativity.
Hey, just
Awesome.
just a quick shout out.
Ding!
You know, Blue Design actually created the cover photo for this podcast and the logo. It's great.
Shout out.
Ding!
It's not done yet, but Blue Design is creating a present that I'm giving to my goddaughter, and it's going to be awesome.
I have another shout out.
Ding!
The way he read that, shout out Linda Carter.
Ding!
Drama class.
Linda
Franklin
Shout
High
out
School.
Linda Carter
Ding!
right
How old is Linda
there.
Carter? Does anybody know?
She's been shouted out.
Ding!
We're not saying that on air.
I've asked.
She's a lady.
She's
We're not
29.
29.
Segment number 6.
All right, so we're about 52 minutes in too. So should be our last chunk of a piece.
Nah,
So there's 3 options. The 2 guests, Mr. Ryan and Mr. Devin, get to select which one we're going to take part in. We have our @/AskReddit, done that a couple of times. $1 Million But, which is a game where there's a scenario where you've been offered $1 million, but you have to do this, and we'll discuss if we would take the offer or not. And then top 10, kind of like we did in our last episode, I read out the options. They put them in the orders, you get points, etc. So it's up to you two which you would like to take part in.
I think after some serious deliberation all day today, we have decided that we would like to do $1 Million But.
All right.
Da-da-da-da.
New segment. Let's
All right,
go.
yeah, new segment. So this, like I said, there will be a situation where it's not always $1 million. It's just like this much money, but you have to do this.
Okay.
And we'll discuss if we're going to take it.
Yeah, PG-13.
I have
maybe.
3 examples. I'll read them out. You guys can choose which one we're going to talk about. So the first one, $1 million, but every time you wake up, you have a random and different person spooning you.
Okay.
$1 million, but you don't have to go to the bathroom all year except one day a year. It all comes out at the same time.
That's a lot.
And the last one, $1 million, but every time someone says you are a or you're a blank, you literally become what they say.
You're a dill. All of a sudden, Casey's a spice.
I'm Pickle Rick.
So option 1, 2, or 3.
I like 1.
What was 2 again?
I like 1 because I'm single.
2 is
Oh, yeah, 2 is the pooper day.
I'm sorry, man.
so we have spooning, bathroom.
I have answers for any of them, so
Yeah,
I do too.
Ben,
Y'all
you're the
can-
moderator. You pick.
I actually thought of one when I was sitting here, so that's what I thought we were going to do. I didn't know you already had them.
Throw it out there.
All right, Ben. Yeah, what Mackey? What's
It was
your
$1 million, but every day you have to drink a bottle of hot sauce, like peach red hot. Throughout the day, you have to eat entire and drink.
How long does this last?
are you going to justify that?
For the
Though?
rest
It's
of
either
your
yes
life?
you
Oh,
do or
yeah.
no you don't.
Ooh, okay, fun until you spend the $1 million.
Bet I could spend it in a day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, you pick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, no, you caught me off guard. So I was trying to think of the one that would require the most like effort and pain to deal with, and I think it's the second one.
Okay.
100%.
The bathroom.
So
Bathroom.
$1 million, but you don't have to go to the bathroom all year except one day a year. It all comes out at the same time.
Can we ask some side questions for how that works? Yeah. All right. So do you
Get
get,
those out
pick
of
the
the way
day?
now. I think we should go with December 31st because it builds up all year.
Okay.
Okay, so the end of
Last
the year.
day of the year.
Yeah, but if you get to pick it, then then it's just a day out of the year. Maybe that's like a day that every
the rule
job
is,
says
no matter-
you get a paid day off
No matter what day it is.
because
It's still a full
whichever
year.
not
day
every
you have it,
like
it's
still a
for
full
instance
year.
a
Okay.
hospital.
Okay, so my question is, when we say it all comes out at the same time, we saying that over a day span, or just all in like a 30-second span? It's just like dropped on you.
I think a day.
I mean, it's like the physical limitations of how
It
fast you
says
can come out
except
of
a
you.
day a year.
It's gonna
So
take an entire day.
Have you ever seen the little ice
Fair
cream
enough.
dispensers at McDonald's? That's just like turned on for an entire day.
okay.
Okay. All right.
I think
so
that's our-
Let's start.
Except
with
it actually works. It's not
Minnick,
broken.
you
Let's
wanna
start
start
with
off?
this time and go from there.
All right.
Minnick, are you taking the deal?
I'm 100% in on this because I mean, again, even if it's not December 31st, you're gonna take this day off anyway. So it's basically a paid vacation day to just sit on the bathroom all day. Now, I will say there will be repercussions with this. Your legs will be very tired
Very numb.
by the end of this. So get ready for that.
What if we make special chairs for it?
You could, what's that thing that you have to sit the squatty potty? You just
Correct,
put your
yes.
you put your knees up on that and like it
Ding!
Shut up.
Ding!
Like,
If you
banana
like the
sponsor.
sponsor us,
Not a sponsor. If you want to,
Contact BL Brown. I don't even know what your email address is.
rambleonthemountain@gmail.com.
Is
I'm
that
gonna
ever your
take
email?
it.
Oh, okay.
I know it's not necessarily a favorable deal, but for $1 million, I think I'm in on this. I would do it.
So I would do a lot for $1 million, and this will be one thing that I would do for $1 million. We'll talk after the podcast. So I would do a lot for $1 million. Squatty potty, big fan, big of the idea. That's a great bidet as well. Keep yourself clean while you're going.
Okay.
Love a good bidet.
When it comes down to money, is there really a price on happiness? You know
Okay.
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Is there really a price on happiness? I'm just gonna pass that along. We'll leave that. Let that float.
I'm going no on this one, because I'm sure we're just gonna have to be realistic and grown up for a minute. Everyone here at this table and everyone watching is used to using the bathroom, and everyone has had very different experiences in the bathroom. So there are some good days where things are easy. There are some bad days where they're not. And for those people who have health issues, I actually have some very bad stomach issues that mess with me. I don't like doing that for even a small time of the day. So if those add up to one day of the year, it's going to feel like death
like an
for
entire
hours. It
And then it's just over.
It wouldn't be worth it to me.
24 hours.
No,
of just,
okay, so not worth it for
I
Ben.
couldn't take it. Nope.
Huh.
Even if it was just like the little spurt.
I mean, I personally enjoy my toilet time.
So, based off the question, $1 million, but Burke said there's a lot he would do for $1 million. So if I go through this, no matter how bad it is, I have $1 million. Burke can do whatever the hell I want. So absolutely, Burke's my bitch for a day after I go through all this shit. So
That's not in the deal.
it is.
I'm
No,
a little
Burke.
Burke
me
just
out.
became a slave after asking
Hear me
a
out.
question.
I would just like
Burke-
to make a clarification. What? I didn't say I would do everything for $1 million. I said I would do a lot of questionable things for $1 million.
So Burke will do a lot of questionable things for $1 million.
Play the tape.
I go
So I would do a lot for $1 million.
through this for $1 million. Burke's mine for a day.
Okay, so Garrett gets the $1 million, and then all of a sudden he's like,
He
"Hey,
can
Burke,
offer
come here.
it
I
to
got $1
Devin.
million."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right.
Just because Burke.
Be
I'll,
honest for a
That's a
day.
whole other question.
I'll go through it just
Alright.
for Burke.
Started off in
Hashtag
different
because
chapters,
Burke.
ended up on the same page. I got
That
you.
might be the name of the episode.
Because Burke, I like it.
All right,
Mac?
Maggie.
I don't know, man. Something it's just really peaceful to like wake up and I work the evening shift, so it's nice to wake up just kind of whenever I want to.
Shout
Look
out to
outside.
Mackey for taking the evening shift.
Yeah, look outside. This time of year, it's snow on the ground. Drink a nice cup of coffee. I do the New York Times crossword. Just take some me time for like however long it takes to do the crossword. I do the mini, so it's not that long, but yeah. So I'd have to say no.
Okay. 3 yeses and no, so...
Okay.
All right, so we're at about an hour.
Yeah, let's do the next question. We got one
We'll
more to
we'll
go.
do one more,
Let's do it.
and then it's the close.
All right.
We're saving that top 10. So we have the other two options: $1 million, but every time someone says you are a blank, you become what they say, or $1 million, but every time you wake up, you have a random and different person spooning you.
I think Matt can choose because he's starting this
Yep.
one off, so...
Great, Mackey.
Go with the spooning one.
Okay.
$1 million, but every time you wake up.
So to clarify, I think there's a little more to this one that I didn't write it down. So it's like whether it's a nap or like when you wake up in the morning, every time
So how about
it's a
for,
different
like,
person.
A year?
Can we
Is
put
this
that
over
in?
like a year span?
What's
I mean,
the
it can
time
even
frame?
be lifetime. Honestly, $1 million is a lot of money. Not over a
Not today.
lifetime, but
Well,
I can spend. I can literally go on Amazon right now and spend
we're
$1
gonna
million.
do a year.
I'd also
Okay,
like to,
a year.
To ask a
Do a
quick
year.
question: are we talking clothes spooning or nude spooning?
Whatever.
I don't think it
If
matters.
you fall asleep nude, they're nude.
Okay.
If you fall asleep clothed, they're
Okay.
nude too.
Okay.
All right,
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maggie, good.
All right, so if we're talking it for a year, $1 million, yeah, I'd say I'd do it. I mean, that's hell. You're in it for a good story anyway.
Definitely get some good stories.
For a year,
Okay.
I can see that.
You next three tread carefully.
So I'm gonna take the money. So I'm a big guy. I'm about 6'3". So it's kind of rare that I get to be spooned. I like to be the little spoon, honestly.
It is a nice one.
I like to
It
be
is-
snuggled up a little
it is a
bit.
great
I don't
experience.
always like to fall asleep with my arms all in a weird position. So
Just
Hair
a
in your
face
mouth.
full of hair.
yeah,
Oh.
exactly. I like to be the little spoon every now and then. So it doesn't matter who it is. That's gonna be a nice way to wake up every time I wake up. So I'm taking that $1 million, and honestly, it's a blessing at that point. So I'm taking it.
I'm married, so no. And regardless of that, I thoroughly enjoy every day waking up next to my wife, and I don't want anybody else in that
Cue the
special
romance
Can we
music.
put a Cupid
special
thing in there?
time.
Yeah, a little bow and arrow.
I mean, I'd slip.
I love you, Candace.
So I'm gonna say no, and I'm gonna say no for the simple
Now, wait a
reason. You gonna let me talk, or you gonna?
Burke, you got the floor, man.
Sorry.
I'm gonna say no for the simple reason that there are some really messed up people out there in this world, and I'm sure that I probably don't get to choose who I get to wake up next to spooning.
Nope.
Exactly. So I'm gonna go ahead and say no because I am not comfortable in that same scenario.
Can I change my answer?
Yes.
So every time that Ben wakes up not next to his wife, I'm the one waking up next to Candace. So
Yikes.
I would like to change my answer. I'm gonna snuggle up to Candace from now on.
Old Kansas.
Crabgrass, I love you.
Kansas,
So-
we all love you.
She's a good snuggler.
Yikes.
So
Minnick, let's have you start answering some questions.
I am going to say no. Now, I'm going to say no for a different reason, and that's because I take a lot of naps. I am a napper.
He is a napper.
I nap almost once a day. I have my regular, 7, 8 hours, and then I usually take a nap. So that's 2 people every day times,
At least.
right, times 365. No thanks. Like
Hard
it's
pass.
it's
The thing is, though, it doesn't say how long you have to stay. You can
730
as soon
people,
the,
though.
the
I mean,
second
that's-
you wake up,
They poof away.
they can be gone. You can be like, "Hey, get the out of my house,"
okay.
and they're gone.
That's gonna freak me out more, not knowing who it is.
True.
Okay.
Or
Okay, so if I were
you
to
meet
take
your wife.
If I were to take this, I would want to know who every single person is. And this isn't a thing that I need to screen them to figure out. I would need to know who they are.
If you read the question, it does say a random different person. I'm sure you know at least 2,000 people.
No.
Have
Yes,
crossed, have
you have
paths.
a lot of connections
You've
at
crossed
your
paths.
school.
Oh, I've crossed paths with
Yes.
Okay.
a lot of people.
So it doesn't say a stranger. It's not somebody that you've never encountered before.
So one day could be amazing.
But I
the
don't
next
I
day could
don't
be
mean
horrid.
Yeah, so
No.
some days you might want them to stay
You don't
longer,
understand
depending
what-
on who it is.
you don't understand what I mean. I don't mean that I have to know them personally. I mean I would have to know them. Like if I turned around and saw this person, I would have to know them.
So like JJ Watt, would you be okay with that?
No. I just mean I would have to get to know them. Like I would want to know. Like if it was a random stranger.
Oh, so you'd be more comfortable with a stranger that lasts 10 minutes after you wake
So
up.
Minnick is saying.
I
So
don't
the
care.
UPS
One
guy
night stand guy.
is delivering a
Who it is.
package.
I don't care if it's Ben because I would turn around and be like, "Oh, it's Ben." I don't care if it's somebody like JJ Watt because it's JJ Watt. I don't care if it's Martha Tucker from New Mexico.
Martha Tucker,
Shout
New
out.
Mexico,
Tucker.
shout out.
Ding,
You better subscribe.
I would
So
turn around and be like, "Who are you?" And I would just want to know them.
You'd be personally invested.
Right. I would want to be invested in who that person is.
I get that.
I don't have to physically know them in my life now. I would just want to get to know them.
That was very deep.
all right. I mean, I still want strangers spooning me just because I'm a big guy. So
Man, I got a cool meal in my back pocket. Whatever.
you got more in your back pocket.
Look, I took the mill because I'm on the porcelain throne once a year.
All right, cool.
All right. So with that brings us to the end of whatever. It brings us to the end of episode 3
that's awesome.
of the Ramble on the Mountain video podcast. Minnick, myself, and Garrett would love to thank our 2 special guests
Absolutely.
for
Mac,
coming out
been great.
and not only
Burke,
we're
you've
all
also
here
been
together
great.
anyway, but agreeing to do this with us and sharing the fun. And just like the last episode, I want to make sure we take time to thank all of the people that have supported us so far. We're still getting, likes and views and comments and people reaching out to us and saying things. And I can't express to you how awesome it feels. Like,
This is recorded on Thursday, January 24th, and the last time I looked at my phone, we have 98 likes on Facebook. I can almost assume that by the time you guys hear this, we'll have 100 people that like us.
I would hope
I've never liked this, this group on Facebook.
so. Okay, Burke's number 99, so we got 1.
I didn't even know
One
there
of
was a
you,
group on
please.
Facebook.
All right, there's 100. We got sitting right here.
I'm not going to do it though. I'm not going to do it. I want one of you to do it. That's who I want.
Mac is number 101, so
Yeah, there you go.
there we go.
So cheers to everybody. Thanks
Yes,
for having
cheers
us
to
on.
the weekend.
Had a great time. Thank you very much for you guys. And
Hopefully we all don't break a leg tomorrow or get hurt in any other way.
we're getting
Or get a
attacked by
concussion.
kindergartner.
nice.
And with that, we will see you lovely folks next time. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time on the next episode of the Ramble on the Mountain video podcast. And Led Zeppelin. Ramble on!